Hey healers, if you are new here, welcome to the Oasis. If you are returning, welcome back to the Oasis. We are a program that is born of, supported by, created by healers for healers. My name is Colette McLeod. I'm a licensed mental health counselor and one of the co-creators of the Go Mental Health Initiative, what we call the Oasis. Today, we are exploring what it means to be ahead of your time, which is a reality that many healers and visionaries know all too well. Not that long ago, a friend of mine was talking about a really popular musical artist, and they were saying, this person is really ahead of their time. They were ahead of their time. And that phrase stayed with me because being ahead of your time can be really exciting, but it can also be pretty difficult. You may carry ideas, practices, ways of being that the world just doesn't recognize yet, or hasn't quite made it to the mainstream. You may know something in your bones long before it becomes a trend. You may notice something in your bones long before it becomes an evidence-based practice. And like I said, before it ever becomes accepted as mainstream. In that gap, between your knowing and what the world at large is ready to accept, between what you see and what others are ready for, it can feel really lonely. For healers especially, many of us are the ones within our professional systems and often our family systems who are called to shift generational patterns. We respect what we've learned clinically, but we also know that the clinical lens is only a fraction, and I do mean a fraction, of what it means to truly support human healing. And when we lean into that broader knowing, into ancient practices, embodied wisdom, into soul-led ways of being, it can feel like we are walking around without a roadmap. That's already a lot of our experiences coming from graduate school. There's so many people who are like, all right, I felt like I was prepared when I left, and then I really got into the work and I'm feeling like I didn't have enough of what I needed. Do you know if you are ahead of your time? There's 5 different things that I tend to look for when I'm talking about someone being ahead of their time. You know that you're ahead of your time if you notice patterns and possibilities long before others do. If your ideas are doubted by other people first and then years later they are magically validated as best practice. You may hold tension between clinical training and your deeper wisdom. That's such a key indicator of knowing if you are ahead of your time. You may be a person who is shifting generational and systemic patterns, and it doesn't mean that the change that you want to see is evident and present, but you can tell where you are disrupting systems as they are present day. And the fifth thing is you carry a knowing in your bones of what's possible, even before there's truth for it. If any of those things sound familiar, just know you are not alone. Being ahead of your time can feel isolating, like no one else really understands what you carry. It's really easy to feel and to be misunderstood. It's really, really common for people who feel like they are ahead of their time or born into the wrong time frame. As I hear some people say, it's really common to feel this generational weight, feeling like you are supposed to do something, like you are called to disrupt the patterns that you were born into. For people who are healers, especially visionary healers, it can be difficult to balance worlds where you know all of this information about clinical frameworks, where you have a license that says you have to practice in a particular way, and you recognize that there are other things that you have to do. And so you are managing both of those worlds to support the healing of other people in a way that is truly not only doing no harm, but supporting the wellness and the thriving of other people. You may know that you are a visionary healer if you meet resistance, where sometimes people push back when you bring a new vision in because maybe they don't see it. And what I like to remind people is another person may not be able to see your vision. Guess what? Because it's not theirs, because it's yours, you were meant to see it. You were called to see it. Now, there are ways to navigate those things. When it comes to isolation, especially as a visionary healer, seek out communities that honor your vision. A person does not have to be able to see it and touch it and know what it is. None of that is required in order to honor another person's vision. When it comes to misunderstandings, trust that there are many truths that can take time to be validated. And the fact that yours does not have to be validated in order to be acted upon. When it comes to generational weight, a part of what you can do is let your healing practices restore you too. The purpose of whatever our own medicine is not simply to give it to other people. It is to also be nourished by it. So when it comes to any weight that you feel like you carry, actually allow your practices to rejuvenate you and nourish you too. If you feel like you're balancing worlds, let everything that you have access to be a tool. Everything is a tool. What works and what doesn't work for you clinically, what works and what doesn't work for you in terms of ancient practices. You get to keep your soul wisdom as a compass while recognizing that you have access to worlds of tools and information. And when it comes to people being resistant or you getting pushback, remember that resistance is often required when it comes to transformation, when it comes to alchemy. And it's okay that people be uncertain. That does not have to shake your ability to be centered within yourself. I would love to be able to hear from folks, just how this may relate. If you can feel into being a visionary, if you can feel into being a visionary healer that has these thoughts and ideas and these passions and these ways of being that you want to bring into this world as it is today. I want to remind you, even though there can be this phrase that's used of being ahead of your time or in the wrong timeline, you are here for a reason and for a purpose. You are exactly where you are meant to be. And that is on the front lines and in the beginning of shifts that are meant to ripple across time. You can reflect on things like, where in your work or your life have you felt ahead of your time? And you can reflect on things like, how does naming yourself a healer change the way you honor your contributions? How does naming yourself a visionary healer change the way that you honor your contributions to this world in this time? Being ahead of your time isn't easy, it is sacred, and you are carrying seeds of the future. You do not have to carry them alone. If this is something that resonates with you, I hope you'll join us within our community. We are a community of healers that holds space for other healers. We know that a part of our wellness is being fully aware and invested in our purpose, fully aware and invested in our being. So until next time, may you be gentle with yourself and be bold in your vision. Take care.